It's Christmas! Or at least it was about, 2 months ago? Well, that is how I operate on slow timetables and whenever I feel like it. And if you don't like that, I understand completely. But this movie came out in like October, so it's fine. Anyway, Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So let me ask a question. Is this a Christmas movie? I mean, there are other Christmas movies that kind of get questioned if they're a Christmas movie, like Die Hard. But in Die Hard's case, it actually has themes of family, togetherness, forgiving your loved ones, and it is set around Christmas, so I consider it a Christmas movie, as you should. As is right with the universe. Another movie that is not obviously Christmas, but is definitely Christmas, is Lethal Weapon. Again, set around Christmas. And has themes of connectedness, don't be lonely around the holidays, grief and despair kind of go away with the holidays, or at least they should be, that kind of thing. Clips, always fun. And necessary. If you think about Miracle on 34th Street, for example, that's partly a Thanksgiving movie and a Christmas movie. And yet, it's still a classic. And let us not forget the most classic of all Christmas movies, It's a Wonderful Life, which for the majority of the film, except for basically the third act, doesn't take place around Christmas. And even then, it's not even on Christmas Day, it's on Christmas Eve. And if you ask me, that's basically the rules of the genre. A movie which takes place around Christmas and has Christmas themes in it of familyness, togetherness, all that happy horse shit. That's all you need. That's Christmas. So, I ask again, with all that in mind, is this movie a Christmas movie or not? I wonder myself sometimes. Well, like I said, this movie was released in October and stars Skeletor's cousin, mad that Resident Evil isn't scary anymore, so he's going to try a new series. But he's mad he can't get his older brother to help, so he's going to break the rules. And everything's going to get fucked up. Beyond belief. I need some chalk. So after Skeletor's cousin tries Thrillville, he realizes he fucking sucks at it. And then decides, you know what? Resident Evil's getting better nowadays. I think I'll go back to it. You know, my shit post of the plot of this movie actually doesn't sound too bad thinking about it. It's a damn shame that this movie was made by a complete hack of a filmmaker. Yeah, and I don't care if that pisses any of you off at home. Tim Burton sucks at his craft. I get his whole thing is that he likes stories about weirdos who are weird and society doesn't like them. And that's fine and all. But his problem as a filmmaker is he's all flash and no fire, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, he doesn't have any concept of a good story. Take this movie, for instance, which is essentially a story about a bunch of unfocused idiots and possible crack addicts who decide, hey, everything is awesome, but this one guy's all pissed off and he wants to change the status quo. So let's follow him and doom our world. That should go well. And the message of this movie is essentially, don't try anything that's new or different, because you're going to fuck it up for yourself and everybody who loves you. How wonderful. What a positive and uplifting message from a classic movie by a classic filmmaker. It's bullshit. And not only does this movie have a bad message, the actual structure of the story is more stitched together than Night of the Living Playboy Girl over here. The acts of this movie don't really begin or end. They just sort of happen. It's like we start off in Halloween, then we progress through a bunch of other bullshit and songs. Suddenly, we're close to Christmas Eve, and then Christmas happens, everything gets fucked up, and then the movie's over. Now I ask you, where is the progression in the story? How does one event tie into another and lead down into a flowing narrative? The answer is, it doesn't. And of course, if you don't have a good structure in a movie, then how are you supposed to follow the movie? This movie's answer is, fuck you. Enjoy the songs. Cut. But you know, there are a lot of movies, especially animated movies, marketed toward children that don't necessarily have the best story. So they rely on their funny and charismatic characters. So surely the characters must be at least entertaining if we have a bad story, right? Well, let's remember that Tim Burton is in fact a bad filmmaker and doesn't understand that characters who are weird are not necessarily entertaining. All right. See, the problem with the characters is that they're all unfocused idiots who have no real goals or motivations that are discernible or relatable to the audience. Aside from the hot zombie girlfriend, and she doesn't like the dude that created her because he won't let her have any fun. Which is fairly weak. And she's like the only character whose motivations you kind of agree with. Everyone else is either bored with their life or an asshole. Which makes it really hard for me to give a shit about anybody. So if your story is not structurally sound and doesn't have a good message in it, and the characters are unfocused with bad motivations, that sometimes don't have a whole hell of a lot to do with the story, I ask you, why am I still watching your movie? Well, as it happens, this movie is ugly as fucking sin. It has bad lighting, poor textures, and it makes very bad use of the stop motion animation, which is not bad in this movie. Now, I'm a fan of stop motion animation. Who isn't? It's a unique way to give the story, or the movie, I should say, a unique feel that is realistic while still keeping it a cartoon. And of course, it takes a lot of effort. And the stop motion actually does pretty good in this movie. It has that classic stop motion, whatever the fuck you call it, stop motionness in it. And it's not poorly done, the actual animation. But the problem is the models have no color in them, which pulls away any potential vibrancy this movie could have. And just makes it ugly to look at. In addition, there's no proper lighting, so everything just looks that much worse. And then, Tim Burton, for some ungodly reason, put fog in every fucking shot, so you can hardly see what the fuck is going on. And no, I don't care that muted colors and gray backgrounds are Burton's style. It's an ugly style. It makes me not want to look at his films. Like, imagine a film with really good dialogue. But all the actors had to record their sound with cheap-ass little lav mics like what I got. You would say that that film did a bad job of audio mixing. So for my perspective, as a fucking asshole, movies that drain color unnecessarily are the same thing. They look ugly as shit, and you take away part of the artistry inherent in the filmmaking process. Which is actually a problem that a lot of modern films have. They think that gray and blue means artistic, when in actuality, it means cheap and pretentious. Use color in your fucking films, please. But I digress. So to recap, this movie has a scatterbrained shotgun story structure with an unappealing, not good message in it, especially for a Christmas movie. The characters are maniacs in the worst possible ways. The
lighting in this movie is dog shit. The animation is good animation, but it's just it's too damn ugly for its own good. And it is made by a hack filmmaker. So what do I think of this movie? Not a Christmas movie, it fucking sucks, don't watch it!
Thanks for watching. If you like that video, good for you. You know them buttons down below this here video? You know, you go down there, they're right there. You know the ones I'm talking about, right? You should click those buttons. If you want to, of course. I can't really make you do anything. And hey, while you're down there clicking buttons and whatnot, there's some links down there that you might want to follow. You know, they go to them some other stuff in which I do some other stuff, in which case some stuff happens, so you can know about some stuff. And you might want to know about that stuff. Oh, fuck. That's smoking. There is like a pool of oil down there in that pan, and it is bubbling. Bubbling. But what do you all think? Do you like this film and think I'm a fucking idiot? Well, post a comment. That's where you can tell me. Anyway, that is just about all I got. So if you will all excuse me, I have to go annihilate this food. Later.